this gonna? Is it going or is it live?
It is live on my end.
Oh, what the heck? Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 621, and it is your review of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. And yeah, I on my end, it said it was not live yet,
And on
but
my end, it was like live for 15 seconds.
what the hell? But of course, it is the Nerd You're gonna hear the host show. Lots my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a wonderful, wonderful, actually, Tuesday afternoon. Yes. Evening.
Yep,
Whatever.
yep.
Day
And I'm
late,
not
dollar
gonna
short.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go yeah. Well, yesterday was because I had to go. So we couldn't do this live for Monday because I had to go pick out a jacket for for like a outfit that I have to wear for this event that I have for work.
Also, he hadn't finished the movie anyway.
Yeah, I haven't finished the movie. I literally had like an hour left, and so what's it called? Today we're doing it. Today it's going up on Wednesday at 12 because yeah, but yeah, man, I can't wait to be done with this, Brad. About the things that I can't talk about.
It sounds like it. Sounds like everyone's enjoying their time over there.
Mhm.
Um, from
Yeah,
what I'm reading.
yeah, and that person doesn't even work there.
Yeah, that's the bothersome part.
That person doesn't even work there.
They don't even get paid for that shit.
You know? So, Brad, um, how was your Tuesday and how's your Wednesday now? I mean, well, Tuesday. I'm
Uh,
sorry. How was your Monday? How was your Tuesday?
my Monday was I was tired Monday. I was tired as shit. So I was okay when you were like, "Hey, let's not do this." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna go sleep.
I'm going to bed.
Going to bed." Um, so my Tuesday today, not bad, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Not bad. Just
Yeah,
more work
yeah.
as always. But I think we achieved what we needed to achieve today, and we continue on as work never ends.
Damn. Yeah.
Never ends.
It never ends, Brad.
No, it's an ongoing thing, and then when you think it ends, and you either like retire or die, they just replace you with someone else, and continues from there.
Yep. Did you get to watch? Did you? Well, today we're recording this live, and yeah, it's what's going down right now is what's it called, the Tuesday Night War.
Tuesday Night War. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing WWE probably wins that because they've stacked because they've taken more time and put more people in NXT on this day than they have in the entire NXT run.
Yeah. But hey, man, they on the AEW side, Sheeta became a three times women's champ, and Orange Cassidy became a two times international champ.
Had I had to choose it on my side, I would have chose AEW. But that's just
Yeah,
because WWE doesn't really have any storylines right now that fascinate me.
yeah. My whole thing that I was just surprised was the fact that the Undertaker pulled up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, like the Undertaker bell at the end. It's like, all right,
okay.
WWE, we know what you're trying to do, but you haven't
Yeah.
cared about NXT this whole fucking time. What are you
The
doing?
thing is, Brad, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, Brad. As somebody who, what's it called, has seen a little bit of the product from NXT, NXT right now is not that bad at all. It's actually really fucking good.
I
Like,
just
Shawn Michaels might be a better booker than Triple H.
I just remember that one high flyer when I was in a match, and it was like, I know none of these people.
Yeah, but that was the what's it called? That was NXT 2.0.
Yeah,
A
like
month
I
ago.
was like, I just don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know who to choose. So
yeah.
yes.
NXT White and Gold is pretty damn good, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Yeah, but Yeah, Brad. I've had a long day. I I was able to finish
Wait,
watching the
wait, wait,
show.
wait, wait. You said Orange Cassidy became 2 times international.
Yep.
Does that mean he beat John Moxley?
No, he beat Ray Phoenix. I don't know what happened. Ray Phoenix was supposed to go up against Moxley today, and they changed
What
it to
bout did
Moxley,
Moxley get?
the international.
Did Moxley lose it?
So Moxley, so Cassidy lost to Moxley in
That
an
fucking
amazing
Tony
match
Tony Khan
at
fucking
All Out.
coke fiend.
Down in my Grand Slam, Moxley got hurt really bad with a concussion. So they called in audible, and Ray Phoenix won.
Huh.
Ray Phoenix was supposed to go up against John Moxley today. They changed the match, and Ray Phoenix went up against Orange Cassidy, which probably means that
John Moxley is hurt, probably.
John Moxley probably didn't pass the concussion test.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So does that mean we get to see Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley when he gets better, and then John Moxley gets the belt back?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't get it back. Maybe
I don't know.
it's the rub for him to keep it. But I don't know, man. Um, but yeah, enough of wrestling, Brad. Enough of
Sorry.
wrestling.
It just you brought up Orange. I'm like, did he beat John Moxley already? That makes no sense. But
Yeah,
it sounds like Ray Phoenix didn't hold that belt for long either.
yeah, man. Well, yeah. I don't think that was the plan. I
Yeah,
don't even think it was the plan for him to hold it.
that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, I watched this movie, and
How many times have you seen this movie?
oh my god, Brad! Like I said, 10. I'm playing around, Brad. I think it's like 6 or 5. Like this has
It's
got
still a
to
lot.
be like
That's still a
yeah,
lot because this is was this a long movie? I don't think it was that long.
yeah. I've
Well, it depends
done
on what you watch. So 144 minutes in American time.
yeah, yeah. But of course, if you haven't watched Stanley Kubrick's The Shining 1980 film, you should probably get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you don't care about spoilers, or you've already seen the film, go ahead and stay. Either way, how that goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect in a 5, 4, 3. Oh my god, I fucking hold on. 3, 3, 2, 1.
Ah, you got it. There you go.
There you go.
You're just having
Yeah.
trouble finding the button.
Brad, I have a lot to read, Brad.
This is pretty extensive. This is one of the longer ones.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm usually not used to reading stuff like this much, bro, for these introductions.
I mean, it is a Kubrick movie and it is The Shining, so
Yeah.
get to reading.
All right. The Shining is a 1980 horror film produced and directed by Stanley Kubrick and co-written with novelist Diane Johnson. The film is based on Stephen King's 1977 novel of the same name and stars Jack Nicholson, David Lloyd, Shelley Duvall, and
Danny Lloyd.
Scatman Crothers. Danny,
Scatman Crothers.
yeah, I did say Danny Lloyd, right?
No, you said David Lloyd.
Oh, David, I'm sorry. Um, Nicholson plays Jack Torrance, a writer and recovering alcoholic who accepts a new position as the off-season caretaker of the Overlook Hotel. Lloyd plays his young son Danny, who has psychic abilities, The Shining, which he learns from the head chef Dick Halloran, played by Crowders. Danny's imaginary friend Tony warns him the hotel is haunted before a winter storm leaves the family snowbound in the Colorado Rockies.
Rookie.
Jack's sanity
The bar.
deteriorates, yeah, under the influence of the hotel and its residents, and Danny and his mother Wendy face mortal danger. Production took place. Damn, Brad. Production took place almost exclusively at EMI Elstree Studios, with sets based on real locations. Kubrick often worked with a small crew, which allowed him to do many takes, sometimes to the exhaustion of the actors and staff. The new Steadicam mount was used to shoot several scenes, giving the film an innovative and immersive look and feel. This has been much speculation about the meanings. There has been much speculation about meanings and actions in the film because of inconsistencies, ambiguities, symbolism, and differences from the book. The film was released in the United States on May 23rd, 1980, and in the United Kingdom on October 2nd by Warner Brothers. There were several versions for theatrical releases, each of which was cut shorter than the preceding cut. About 27 minutes was cut in total. Reactions to the film at the time of its release were mixed. Stephen King criticized the film due to its deviations from the novels. The film received two controversial nominations at the first Razzies in 1981: Worst Director and Worst Actress, the latter of which was later rescinded in 2022 due to Kubrick's treatment of Duvall on set. They knew about this for that long and decided to finally do it in 2022.
Yeah.
Critical response to the film has since become favorable, which that just means that it was just fucking performative. Like y'all fucking bastards. Yeah. In 2012, The Shining was ranked 75th greatest film of all time in the Sight and Sound Directors Poll. In 2018, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. A sequel titled Doctor Sleep, based on King's 2013 novel of the same name, was adapted to film and released in 2019. All right. Whew.
That was a lot to read.
Cinematography is done by John Alcott, who has done basically all the other films from Stanley Kubrick. Edited by Ray Lovejoy. Music is done by Wendy Carlos and Rachel Elkind. And it's, wow, well, it sits at 146 minutes for the premiere. The American cut is 144 minutes, and the European cut is 119 minutes. The version that we watch is the 144-minute cut.
Why did they cut so much in the European?
I wonder how much they cut, bro. Like what they
That's a
cut.
lot.
Yeah. And on a budget of $19 million, it made $47.3 million at the box office. So
Heck yeah.
that sounds like it's a success to me.
Yeah, I mean for a Kubrick film.
Yeah. So, Brad, what are your initial thoughts on Stanley Kubrick's The Shining?
Before I go into my thoughts, I wanted to talk about Stephen King's thoughts. Because that's what I always found entertaining about this is Stephen King hated this movie. And I wanted to know why. And so Screen Rant over here, I have an article. It tells me why.
Okay.
So I'm going to read, I guess, parts of it. And it's labeled. It's a very good title. Why Stephen King Really Hates the Shining Movie. Look at that. By Michael Kennedy. So author Stephen King famously hates Stanley Kubrick's iconic 1980 movie version of The Shining for a number of reasons. Published in 1977, The Shining was King's third full-length novel, and like most of his work, didn't take long to become a film. Yada 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 yada. Amusingly, considering the exalted status it holds today, Kubrick's Shining was far from a box office hit upon release and drew harsh reviews from many critics. As with many films, though, The Shining would go on to be reevaluated by both critics and audiences, is now rightly considered one of the greatest horror films to ever grace celluloid. Multiple aspects of the film have become pop culture reference points, and for good reason. Let's see.
What did
Here we
he
go.
say?
Here we go. King's most often cited criticism of Kubrick's Shining adaptation is the casting of Jack Nicholson. While Nicholson is a legendary actor and his performance as Jack Torrance is perhaps the most famous aspect of the film, King has stated that Nicholson comes off as unhinged from the start, while King's Jack begins as a loving father, albeit a highly flawed one, and is slowly driven mad by the Overlook's ghost. He feels that Nicholson's Jack appears ready to chop up his family early on and just gets nuttier from there. Instead of Jack Torrance descending into madness, King finds Kubrick's version simply goes from crazy to mercilessly so. Additionally, while King's book spends time establishing Jack, Wendy, and Danny as a family that cares about each other, the author thinks Kubrick's Shining is too emotionally cold and doesn't give audiences a reason to care about the Torrances' well-being. He also intensely dislikes the characterization of Shelley Duvall's Wendy as a meek, quickly hysterical victim whose main recourse when Jack targets her is to weakly swing a bat. The Wendy in King's book was much more resourceful and independent. Finally, King's book ends with a satisfying but bittersweet climax, in which Jack fights off his madness long enough to allow his family to escape before causing the Overlook to explode. In Kubrick's film, Jack simply freezes to death. And which is why you get the 1997 made-for-TV television series.
Television film, yeah. Look, man, Stephen King can think what he wants. I think the movie's still fucking amazing.
I I will say I like the movie. Like it's Kubrick, so the shots are amazing. The cinematography is really there as any Kubrick. I do think Stephen King makes a few points. I'm not really gonna say the Jack Nicholson character. I like Jack Nicholson's take on it. I'm sure it's not as close to the book as Stephen King wants, but guess what? You're not gonna get that if your director Stanley Kubrick, because Stanley's gonna make what he wants. I don't like the direction given to Shelley Duvall because there are scenes in that where Shelley is holding that big ass knife and flailing her arms like olive oil, going Danny, and I'm just like, what? Which take was this? Was this take like 480? Fucking Kubrick? Is this why she's doing this? Because like it's gone from making her look weak to just very annoying, annoyingly weak, and I don't think that's a very good portrayal of that character. Because in the end, she outwits and outsmarts Jack Nicholson's character.
One of the greatest horror films out to celluloid. Have they not heard of TV's Cocaine Shark?
Hey, we're waiting for it. But that's my really only gripe in this is just Shelley Duvall's direction, because the woman can act, and there are parts in this where she acts very well and acts very frightened, and that's fine because when you have someone coming through the door that looks like Jack Nicholson with an axe coming through the door, yes, I mean those scenes are phenomenal. But there are other scenes where she's running around with that big knife, flailing her arms like olive oil in Popeye, where it's just like this is ridiculous. And then again, I kind of agree with King with the bat scene. It's like, no, Jack, no, like what is that? Like fucking just drive that thing home run, Babe Ruth that shit. That's my thing. Like that's
I
really my only gripe.
I completely disagree with Brett. I think this movie is fucking perfect. I think it's incredible.
I think he
And,
makes that character look so weak. And
and
there's no point. There's no there other than making Shelley Duvall just fucking lose her mind. There was no point in doing that.
I mean, Brett, but like, I can't go back and change what he did. Like, here's
No,
the
no
thing.
one can. I can't go back and tell Kurosawa, hey, edit Seven Samurai by 30 minutes. It'd probably be pretty good. You just
Yeah.
fucking look at me and go,
But
what?
but the thing is that I mean, I think all that, like what Stephen King is saying, and I'm not here to talk about what Stephen King wanted or not. I think it just stems from the fact that Stephen King wanted a direct adaptation of his book.
Well,
And
yeah.
I think Kubrick just wanted to make a movie about a man who descends into his own madness, and he wants to what's it called and he decides to torment his family because of it.
Yeah.
And I think in my mind, I think that Kubrick just shouldn't have adapted the book. I think Kubrick just should have just made a film like that with that idea instead of just what's it called doing, because there's always going to be that what's it called that notion for people to be like, well, you need to be so faithful for the book to the book. And
No.
I don't agree with that, because Stalker is nowhere near being anywhere near being faithful to that book. It does not adapt any of that book, and it's still an incredible movie.
And
Where like,
I'm not saying that I expect it to be
no, I'm
so
not saying
close
that
to
you
the Stephen
expected.
King
That's what
book.
I think Stephen King
Oh yeah,
expected.
Stephen King, absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, but you see what happens in some movies when Stephen King gets a direct adaptation to the film. It's a pretty fucking shit film.
yeah. I think that Kubrick's movies is incredible.
I
I love the performances by Danny Lloyd. I love every performance in this movie. And I look, man, she looks weak, and he makes her look super weak. But I mean, I think that's no. I
I
think
mean,
that's
I'm not saying Shelley Duvall put on a bad performance. I'm saying she got bad direction because I don't think. But it was she probably lost her mind by the point in that
yeah,
movie from doing so many damn takes because Kubrick was mentally abusive to her in
yeah,
this film. Everyone knows it. It's
yeah.
not. It's
Call it
not
this.
a new story. He was mentally abusive to her in this film. So I don't blame Shelley Duvall for that. I blame Kubrick, who, for whatever fucking reason, he wanted to fuck with her.
Yeah, call it the
um,
shinning. The way you that way you won't get sued.
but I have to say, this is some of the best horror visuals. Like the blood coming out of the elevator. I
Yeah.
mean that it's fucking famous. The twins, famous. Um, Big old tall lady in the tub. Um, yeah, that's a famous scene.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the hell, even the goddamn carpet's famous in The Shining from Kubrick. So, like, this film's a masterclass in horror. And again, my only gripe is I think Shelley Duvall is just whatever what he put in the film probably wasn't her best take. I think he had some issue with her and wanted to make her just look like an ass.
Yeah. But man, I mean, I love the music in this movie. The lighting is just incredible. By the way, guys, I watched my 4K copy of this film on physical. It's fucking beautiful. It looks incredible. They did an amazing job at transferring this film and getting a really good look out of the film. But I love that from the beginning you feel that tension starting.
Yeah, well,
And
you feel the tension because Jack. I mean, King does make a statement that's probably true. Jack Nicholson just starts off as pretty much grumpy old dad. I
yeah,
mean, which is fine. Like, I had no issue the way they started that and the way he progressively goes into man. It's like, he's fucking tired. He's got a kid. He's got a wife. He's left his job to become a writer. I think I can get that. I think I can get that why he's absolutely just tired um and he can't. He has got writer's block for sure because at the end of the day he hasn't written a damn thing. So I mean, I kind of get why he was just grumpy in the beginning, and then yeah, he just descends into madness,
yeah,
which is that's very close to the source material in my mind.
yeah. I think that I think that just the location they choose and the way it looks just look fucking incredible. I mean, I love the idea of like them getting snowed in and just the possibilities of how it looks with the lighting was fantastic.
Which, by the
Um,
way, you can go to that hotel.
yeah, you can. I was one of my dreams to go visit that hotel. You know, there are a lot of things that I don't fucking understand about this movie. Like, I still don't get why the fucking guy in the bear costume is sucking off the what's it called the bartender. I think it was the bartender, right? Or was it?
I mean, but for all that time, Shelley Duvall's character had not been able to see the ghost of that hotel.
Yeah,
So honestly, I think that being her first image of the ghost, and throughout that, it's just the ghost screwing with her.
the ghost is
That's really,
screwing with her.
or either or Kubrick screwing with her and be like, "Hey, Shelley, look at this." It's terrifying.
Brad, have you read? You've read The Shining, right?
A long time ago,
Okay, okay,
long time
yeah,
ago. But yes, I read most, not his newest work, but a lot of Stephen King's older work.
yeah.
I
Now,
mean, I mean, I love the book for sure.
oh man,
But I would still say Kubrick's version of this is better than the TV movie. I
yeah,
don't care how close to the adaptation is. Kubrick still knocks it out of the park in that regard.
yeah, yeah. And man, I mean, this movie's so iconic. I mean, here's Johnny, like, bro, that's
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah. I
fuck,
mean,
man, come on, it's like fucking super iconic. Um, the Steadicam just really innovated this movie. It really makes you
I
feel like
did.
really
I did have a question to you. How did they shoot at the ending through the maze? Was that on a God? What the hell is it called?
tracks.
Not tracks, but it's like a camera lift, like
Oh, a crane.
a crane. Yes, thank you. I thought it was a crane because just how it kind of looked visually when they were falling behind, especially Danny when they're falling behind him and he's running. I thought it looked like a crane.
I think it. I'm trying to remember here, Brad. I literally just watched it. Right? How the fuck am I not gonna remember? Um, but I'm trying to remember how they shot this shit, dude.
Because that's like one of my favorite scenes in the movie is just that.
It has
Because
to
it
be a
builds so
crane,
much
though, right?
tension on it because you that's what it looked like to me. Because it's like flying behind Danny watching him run. So that's what I thought it was. And I figured it was possible because it is an open top maze.
I'm gonna guess that they probably did do a crane shot because what's it called? Like it's Steadicam, but it's probably just like somebody was like on the thing, and then we decided to like just lift up a crane, and then like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like to me. Um, Also, I got to bring up Jack Nicholson's character. You know, in the bar, and then shit. Um, that last scene with Dick Halloran. This dude's a dick. Actually, this dude is a dick. Like,
No,
like,
yeah, Jack
like he
Torrance is
called
an
his wife a
asshole.
sperm bank in that
Yeah,
bar, and then he takes an axe to Dick Halloran's chest, who did not deserve that at all.
no, he didn't do shit, bro. He didn't do shit, bro.
He did not deserve that.
No, poor guy, man.
He just walked in there like, "Hey, anybody? Yeah, all right, dead." It's like
Wait,
I
so what are
thought.
you talking about, Brad? Like it just goes through the maze. It doesn't. What's it called? Does it ever like lift up?
So if you watch the kid, it feels like it's flying behind him. That's what it kind of looks like to me. So I figured they had like a crane behind him.
Hmm. It might be a crane behind him,
Because
or
otherwise you got to cover the snow tracks and all that. So which I guess you could, not a big deal,
yeah.
but
More than
I just,
likely, it is a fucking what's it called? Um, what's it called? A crane, because of course we didn't like nowadays. You could just need to film that with a drone or something.
yeah, yeah. But it looks like it's flying behind Danny when he's running.
Yeah. It probably is a crane, but I don't know how it would be a crane, because like I would imagine that it's difficult to move a crane through that maze, unless they're like just shooting it from the top, and then they're like what's it called? They're shooting from the side, and the camera's positioned like this, and they just have it go like that.
I might be wrong. It might be a dude just behind him
Yeah,
running around. I just figured so they wouldn't uh disturb the snow behind the kid.
yeah. Probably
Uh,
what it was. It was probably just the Steadicam operator.
so I pulled up 14 behind the scenes facts about the legendary horror film. Stanley Kubrick initially took on The Shining because he needed a box office win.
That didn't happen.
I mean, no, but it did make its money back and more. The Overlook Hotel design came from thousands of reference photos.
Okay.
All right. Danny's big wheel ride through the halls required technological innovation, and shooting it revealed a huge surprise for the director. Introduced in 1975, the stabilizer mount known as the Steadicam was a revelation in Hollywood and a technology beloved by Stanley Kubrick, who loved to keep his camera in motion in his films. So it might have just been a Steadicam.
It was a Steadicam, yeah.
Kubrick went as far
'Cause-
as to hire the inventor of the thing, Garrett Brown, to be a part of making of The Shining. And while the rig brought many iconic scenes to life, arguably the most famous is Danny's big wheel ride, which required flipping the Steadicam system upside down and zooming it 2 to 3 inches off the floor,
Now,
while the operator rode in a specially designed wheelchair.
what I always have a question about, Brad, is how they shoot the beginning of this movie with the like shooting over like and showing the mountains and all that, because that's not a crane.
No.
That's not a
Oh,
crane.
oh, oh, following the car and all?
Yeah,
It's probably a helicopter.
it's
That's what I figured.
more
Or
than
a
likely a
plane.
helicopter.
Helicopter. That's what I figured.
Yeah,
Which is why this movie cost 19 million back in 1980.
yeah.
Um, so Stanley Kubrick thought the Hedge maze was too simple until he got himself stuck in
Oh my god.
it.
Yeah, of
Oh
course.
shit. Um, there is only one special effect shot in The Shining, but it's an amazing one. Nowadays, getting a God's eye shot from hundreds of feet in the air is as simple as a production investing in a drone or satellite
Yeah.
photography. But that was not something available in the late 1970s in the making of The Shining. Acknowledging this while watching the film is difficult to figure out how the movie
Oh
achieves its
shit.
aerial introductory shot of the maze, but the answer is amazing. The crew simply made a movable reproduction of the middle section of the maze and brought it next to a tall apartment complex. Hanging off the edge of the roof, the crew got the shot required, and then the material was spliced, superimposed with a shot of the model of the maze photographed in scale.
Nah. But well, I was telling you, Brad. I have access to the 119-minute cut. What the hell? Huh. I have access
That'd
to
be
it.
interesting what they cut.
Yeah, I obviously watched my 4K copy, so I didn't get to watch this other copy,
Oh,
but I have
there we
access
go.
to it.
So we got to answer the hedge maze. I think the final hedge maze sequence was absolutely hellish to film. Like you were saying, if the idea of working in an area with oil smoke clouding the air sounds hellish, you are not only absolutely right, but also halfway to recognizing how terrible it was to film The Shining's final sequence. The hedge maze chase, not only was the whole set polluted with smoke, the snow was made from a mix of styrofoam and dairy salt,
Oh my god.
only further poisoning the atmosphere. Plus, Danny Lloyd's trips through the maze were done by just having the camera follow him while he ran, meaning that the crew got repeatedly lost between takes. So they just ran behind him
Yeah.
with the Steadicam.
So, oh, here we go, Brad. For its release in Europe, Kubrick cut about 25 minutes from the film. The excised scenes include a longer meeting between Jack and Watson at the hotel, Danny being attended by a doctor, including references to Tony and how Jack once injured Danny in a drunken rage, more footage of Halloran's attempts to get to the hotel during the snowstorm, including a sequence with garage attendant Tony Burton, extended dialogue scenes at the hotel, and a scene where Wendy discovers a group of skeletons in the hotel lobby during the climax. That's a lot. Um, yeah, Jackson and Burton are credited in the European print despite the scenes having been excised from the film. Yeah, according to Harlan, Kubrick decided to cut some sequences because the film was not very well received, and also after Warner Bros. Had complained about its ambiguity and length. I think all of those scenes are pretty important, though, especially the part about like talking about how he hurt to Danny when he was drunk.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's really important stuff that you probably
Yeah.
shouldn't cut out. Yeah,
So it was. What was the reasoning for him cutting it?
he says because the movie wasn't received well, and because Warner Bros. Was complaining about ambiguity and how long the film was.
Of course. Warner
Yeah,
Bros.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Stanley Kubrick's secretary spent months typing "Oh, work and no play makes Jack a dull boy" pages. God,
oh my god. But I love this movie, man. I think it's one of
should
the
have just
best movies
photocopied that.
that's ever come out. I think it's the greatest horror film ever made. I think it's just he's one of the best movies ever made, bro. I mean, just incredibly acted, directed. With the music is incredible as well. Shot. You really do feel like this movie is terrifying to me. It's terrifying because this happens. Like you do motherfucker doesn't go mad. People like this exist that hate their children and wife to the point that they want to kill them. Like that's what's frightening to me about this movie. And I think it's one of Kubrick's best films, and it's a movie that never, ever, ever gets old on a rewatch. So
No, it actually stays pretty good on the
yeah,
rewatch. I don't know if I consider it the best horror film, but it is one of the best horror films.
yeah. But what I've heard you, Brett, what is your final verdict on the Shining?
Um, like I said, the only thing I really dislike from this film is the direction given to Shelley Duvall, and it's to a point where she's just in hysterics, probably because it's the 2 millionth fucking take for the 20th goddamn time. But it still is a shining example. Get it, get it, of what a good horror film should be. So for that, I give it a 9 out of 10.
All right, all right. Brett, one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's fucking perfect. This movie gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
Okay, roll.
Yeah. I will say though, I will say though, and y'all might hate me for this because some of y'all will say recency bias, bro. You're fucking recency bias. I may enjoy the Doctor Sleep director's cut more than this movie
Really?
because
Hmm.
Doctor Sleep, like, it adds so much more layers to this movie, and I think that because of
But
this,
would you like Doctor Sleep, the director's cut, as much if it wasn't for this movie?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But
So you have to have this movie as the reference for Duck,
there's
of
a
course.
reference. But I think that because of everything that like is done because of this film and the way that it just adds more layers to it, I think that because of Doctor Sleep existing, it makes this movie better sometimes. but I like the choices made in Doctor Sleep more, and I enjoy it more because at least in that movie, I don't feel bad that Shelley Duvall is being asked to do a take 127 times.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but with
Uh,
that said,
Stacy says, "Cut. We'll need another take on that review, guys. We need a little bit more emotion, tears, even."
shut the fuck up. With that said, that concludes our review of The Shining. We thank you all so much for joining us. As always, you can catch us on our website, nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore, underscore Instagram at the Nerdcore, Patreon, and on Threads, I'm sorry, Threads at the Nerdcore, patreon.com/the Nerdcore, the $1 tier. You get this live and early, just like Stacy is doing it right now. And of course, you can go and check that all out at patreon.com/the Nerdcore. Discord link is in our description below, so go ahead and talk to us about anything you want in there. And talk to us in the comments because that is super important. We want to talk to you all. Have you seen The Shining? Do you like The Shining? Have you watched the 4K version? Because that movie is pretty fucking great. Fucking great. And yeah, just talk to us in the comments. We like to talk to you all, and we like interacting about and talking to you all about movies. So make sure you also leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube, and click the notification bell so you don't miss a single piece of content. If you're listening to this on an audio platform, like some podcast platforms like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, make sure you leave a 5-star review. And if you're on any other platform, even if you're on the ones that we just said right now, make sure that you follow us. It would mean a lot to us. And of course, Brad, we want to thank our wonderful producer, Shane. Where can you find him?
You follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at ThriftedIL, or go buy something from the Suppy God at PrisonCityVintage.com.
And of course, we will be back on Saturday for the public, Thursday, live and early for our patrons as we discuss our another film. We're talking Dress to Kill from Brian De Palma. And then from there, we'll just, go on with all of our other reviews stacked for this week. But without further ado, Brad, Red Rum, Red Rum.
All right,
Shut him
Roland.
out.
Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to Stacy for joining us today. And to end this, thank you to all our listeners out there, our Patreon supporters. We appreciate, each and every one of you. And to end this episode, I will say, not Red Rum. No movie reviews and no role makes Brad a dull boy. Young Yoda out. I'm going to need another take on that. God damn it!